Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It is Leah Ray Getz with Digital Trailblazer. Super excited to have you here and walk you through how to generate more leads. One of the biggest challenges that coaches and course creators face is leads. Actually connecting with, finding people who are a good fit for their service, their offering, what they do. It is whether you call it lead generation or you call it audience growth or finding the right people, it's all the same thing. Right? It's getting people to connect with that you can introduce your offer to. So people who are actually interested in what you have to say. So as you jump on, say howdy. Let me know where you are. I'm going to get everything up and running here in Facebook land and everywhere else. We're multi-streaming tonight, so I'm curious where we're going to get the highest number of views from, whether that is Facebook, TikTok, the Facebook group, YouTube, which YouTube channel. So say hi when you get on, and we're going to have a little fun with everything tonight. So again, and as always, we have some good freebies for you. If you're on TikTok, you just got to go to get the amazing Trello board, I think it is. That's in our bio. But everyone else, we got some better goodies, not better. We have an opportunity to be hosted on our podcast. If you have not been hosted on our podcast, then absolutely type in guest and we will get you the link to apply for that. If you're on TikTok, I think you can message me for this probably. But yes, be a guest on our podcast. We have multiple podcasts, and depending on which one you're fit for, we have up to 200,000 people that we promote to within our audiences. So it can be a huge opportunity for you. And if at any time tonight you're thinking this stuff sounds great, but I'm gonna need some help with this, no problem. That's what we do. So yes, say hi and let me know what's going on. Okay. Dallas, Texas. Well, hello, Dallas. Welcome, Walter. And we've got Alicia. Good. Okay, so let's jump in. 10 lead gen strategies. So I would have a pen and paper because I don't know how you can remember 10. It will be helpful if you write this stuff down. So we're going to start. There's really two categories when it comes to lead generation. And this is something that I think new coaches in particular need to listen up on because they don't necessarily understand this to begin with. So we want to make sure that you understand. There's two categories. There's the quicker strategies, and then there's the long-term strategies. So there's the strategies that are going to get you a faster return. They get more immediate results. And then there's the long-term strategies that are a long-term play, right? That take a while, but they're great long-term plays. Like they're great to do for the long term, but they're not going to give you an immediate result. Okay. So I'm going to start with the quicker return. So start with the quicker return strategies. We have 5 of each. Actually, I didn't even do that on purpose. It just kind of happened. So we have 5 of each of those. But we'll start with this first, the quickest return, because a lot of you are in the launch or pre-launch or close to launch, or I tried to launch, but nobody bought sort of situation. So let's focus on that first. Okay. So that you can start getting some clients through the door, whether you're doing coaching or courses, all of these strategies work for both. Okay. So, number 1 can be podcast guesting. Okay. So podcast guesting, this is being a guest on other people's podcasts, like the one I'm offering you an opportunity to be on. So this is people who built up audiences and you get to speak to their audience about your expertise. I have brought on clients from the handful of regular I do a lot more summits than I do podcasts, but I've probably done maybe 5-10 podcast interviews on other people's podcasts. And I have it was a very good return on my time investment because there was a lot of revenue that was generated with that. So can be a great opportunity to get in front of the right people. Couple tips: if this is you and you want to do podcast guesting, make sure you've got a freebie set up. Okay, a freebie like a tip sheet or download behind a capture page. So that's where people are going to put in their name, email, phone number to jump in and get the resource, the free tool, tip sheet, quick start guide, whatever it is that you created, because that allows them to be added to your email list, and you can continue to connect with them. You can get their phone number at the same time. You can then market to them over time. So one of the biggest mistakes I see in podcast guesting is that people are jumping into podcast guesting and they have no systems at all. None. They have no way to generate leads. Watching from volleyball, Alicia, that's awesome. They have no way to capture those leads. So, let's say there's 100 people who hear your message and are like, "Hey, I really like this person." Out of 100 people, maybe one or two of them might take the big step of messaging you and saying, "Hey, I think I might want to work with you. Can we talk?" Like, maybe, right? That, because that's a big ask. That's a really big step to take. And so you will have a lot more success if instead of those 100 people who out of the 1,000 that heard the podcast, 100 people were actually interested in what you do, but they're not like ready to marry you right away. They just are interested. They're not ready to book a sales call. So you offer a freebie that speaks to them, that gets them interested in what you have to, what you're all about. And then now you can continue to message them. They can continue to get emails from you. You can talk to them or go back and forth in email. You can call them if you've asked for phone numbers. So it allows you to continue to nurture people, because now out of those 100, maybe you can book sales calls out of 10, 20 of those eventually, because it was more of an engagement, right? They got to know you better before they're ready to jump into a sales call. So I highly suggest that you get your systems aligned and you've got a really good freebie that would speak to that podcast audience, so that you can really nurture them, start bringing them in from their audience into your audience before you just direct pitch them. Okay. So they have more warming up. Awesome. Okay. So I would absolutely do that. So that's number 1 of 10. Number 2 of 10. It's not that sexy, but it's very efficient. It's in the quicker results, quicker return strategies category. And this is networking. And I'm talking networking online and offline, because some people call this organic marketing on Facebook, but it's just prospecting where you're like messaging with people. I call that networking, right? Because you're talking to people. So you can do this online, in like finding Facebook groups and places where people that would fit your target audience would hang out, friend them, and talk with them. Network, build a relationship. Through that relationship, mention what you do, see if they bite, right? Or if they have some interest in that. There's some skill involved in that to do it really well, but it can work fairly quickly if you know what you're doing. Offline networking is great, or off social media, like when you're in a networking meeting, like a Zoom. Okay. It's a huge opportunity. I've closed people. I've gone to, again, like a handful, between 5 and 10 networking meetings in the online space where they're just Zoom based meetings. And I've closed, I don't know how many high ticket sales from that. Why? Because I went to the right meetings. I went to meetings where my potential audience would be there, and it didn't make it about me. I think so many times when people go to networking events, it's all about them. They want to like talk about what they do and how they help people. In reality, what I do is the total opposite when I'm networking. I give them a quick little, yep, this is what I do, but I completely turn it around and I'm asking questions about them. And I'm essentially just guiding a conversation, understanding if there's someone that I could potentially help, or if they know someone that I could potentially help. And then I'm giving them free tips and advice, right? And if they wanted to learn more, then we set up that next step, right? But it is a huge opportunity. The biggest like lead generation is about being able to talk to people who fit your audience. Meetups, networking, in person, in Zoom, whatever, can be a huge way to do that. Because when you can actually talk to a human being, you can skip ahead of in the line and warm up that relationship so much faster, so much quicker, and get great results. So I highly suggest networking, online and offline. Now the third option for fast or quick return strategies is paid ads. I love paid ads. We've made millions off of paid ads, particularly with Facebook and Instagram. And so it is very you have to be precise. And I don't want you to write off paid ads. If you've never done them before, or if you tried them but they didn't work, it's probably not the platform's fault. It's probably because your systems weren't dialed in to convert into a sale, or maybe you were just boosting a post. Well, that's just a waste of money. Like, unless it's a post that's actually going to have a call to action that leads to a sale, right? So there's a lot that goes into paid ads. I would suggest getting a coach, someone that can help you with that, like us, to help you with paid ads if that's the route you want to go. But if you're someone who's short on time, but you've got a good job, you're solid, you've got a few $100 or that you can spend a month on paid ads, that might be a good idea. All right, because you can do it in such a way that you're really dialed into the people that you want to speak with, and can potentially get some really really great results, and just continually get your message in front of new people every single day. So Facebook ads / Instagram ads, I do suggest they can be very, very effective. So that is number 3. If you need help with ads and you want to chat, no problem. Just type in guest, we'll chat. Type in info, sorry, and we'll chat and see how we can help you out. But number 4, so the fourth faster result activity is collaborations. Now, there's several types of collaborations. So let me kind of walk you through what do I mean by collaborations, because there's a lot. So one is summits. I'm in summits all the time. If you are on my email list, you were recently, like yesterday, no, a couple days ago, you were invited to join a summit. My friend Katie Suick, I can pronounce her last name, is hosting a summit. I'm in her summits all the time. She's well organized. She puts on good summits. So when she asks me, I say yes. Why is it worth my time to go to her summit and to offer myself as a speaker? Because she's offering me a stage to get in front of new people. And I have closed sales from speaking on Katie's stage from her summits. So if it takes me, a half hour for an interview and a few email promotions, yeah, that's kind of worth my time, right? Because when she pools together all of the speakers that she would have in a summit, those speakers all have lists that they're all promoting. So it's a great way to get in front of other people's audiences, hence collaboration. So summits are great. Giveaways are the same premise as a summit, but there's usually no live training involved. It's just a freebie thing where they're just offering freebies. Groups or list promotions. So you can talk with someone who has a not competitive, but complementary. That's the word I'm looking for. Complementary offer to yours, where you speak to the same audience, but you offer different things. You should be meeting these people. You should be talking to these people and building friendships, because you can like list swap, right? You can essentially email your list about her offer and her freebie, maybe just her freebie, get her some new fresh leads and get your folks into her system, and vice versa. Or you can do a live video in someone's group. If you look back a month or 2 ago, I had a good friend of mine, Nicolette Moore, who has an amazing speaking competition and training that she does. And she was looking to promote it. And I interviewed her. Easy peasy in my group. Why did I do that instead of having her just go live? Well, it's my group. I've built the credibility. So if I'm interviewing her, I'm lending her my authority. Okay. So it's a bonus, right? Lending her my authority, it really helps. So I would suggest doing that kind of thing that happens from building relationships. How do you build those relationships? A good way to build those relationships is networking. So that's another positive for networking, because you're not only potentially finding leads, but you're also finding potential collaboration partners. Okay. So I do suggest that. Yes, Mr. Cohen. Yep, comment guest if you want to be interviewed for one of our amazing podcasts. Okay, number 5. Okay, group promotions. Okay, what do I mean by that? So that there are groups that you can go to on Facebook and you can promote in them. They allow promotions. Some of these are free and some of these are paid. I particularly do it in the paid groups, where I know I do it in both. Yeah, I do it in both. Paid groups and free groups that allow me to post whatever I'm offering, whether that's, a free tip sheet, free consult, like whatever that you're offering. You can do free, join your Facebook group, that sort of thing. There are groups that you can post that in, and you can get a bunch of people over into your group or opting into your landing page with whatever your freebie is. So we are generating a significant amount of leads through this strategy these days. So I do highly suggest it. It can be very, very effective. The key to this is really to know what your audience is looking for, so that it's right on the head, so that people see it and they're like, yeah, I do want that, and it's worth them opting in for. Have a really short, to the point post that gets their attention, and then they can go ahead and click and comment and get what they need. Okay, so we actually did a podcast interview. Type in, we had an interview with a gal, Julie, who was teaching in our podcast how to use this strategy. And so if you don't know what I mean by group posting, you can comment like group podcast, and we'll find the link and send that to you over as well, because it's a great strategy. She's built, in 1 year's time, she built a group of 41,000 people in Facebook after having it stagnant at 1,000 for like 3 years, doing the more traditional routes. So it works. Very, very effective. Long-term strategy. Now let's flip the switch here. What are some of the long-term plays? And should you do long-term or short-term or both? I typically teach folks to do the short-term strategies, the quick return strategies initially, while you're getting your system set up, while you're doing sort of the foundation laying of your business. Once you have all of your sales systems, your messaging, your nurture process, your sales scripts, like once you have all of that really ready to go and you're just ready to make sales, then you're going to free up more time and then add in the long-term strategy. Okay. I don't suggest starting with long-term. That's something that I would add in later, after you've done your all of the foundational setup pieces that you need to build your business. Okay. So start with a quick return, and then I would add in the long return. Because they are great strategies. I will tell you, there's YouTube, which I'll skip ahead. That's number 7. We'll switch it around. It'll be number 6. YouTube is a great long-term strategy. It's something that you can put in a few hours and put together a good YouTube video, and that YouTube video can produce leads for your business for years. We have a video that we created 3 years ago, I believe, and that is still producing leads. It's ranking in Google. I don't know if it's ranking in YouTube at all, but it's definitely ranking in Google, and it brings us great leads, wonderful leads. So is it fast? No. Like, did we generate leads the day we put it up? Nope. Did we generate leads the week we put it up? Nope. Right. It took time. And it took us getting good at video. It took our channel a long time to get seasoned to be able to do this kind of thing. But now it's great. We did something years ago and we still generate leads from it. So YouTube is a great strategy, which is a long-term strategy. Okay. I don't want you to wait years for sales. So that's why I say add that on the back end versus on the first things that you're working on. Number 7 then is going to be Instagram and Facebook. So choose one that you want to specialize, or that you want to focus on more than the other. Generally speaking, think about who your audience is and where they're going to hang out. If you're speaking to Gen Z, then yeah, or young Gen X, then maybe Instagram would be better. If you're speaking to more midlife people, older millennials and above, Facebook might be great. Or if you're looking to work with people who love communities, I love communities, right? For your part of your business strategy. So those are on Facebook. So keep that in mind. But putting together great content, it comes down to knowing who your audience is, giving great value. Follow a 80-20 rule. 80% of your content is just value. 20% has a call to action. That call to action could just be a freebie. It could also be, let's talk, book a call, that sort of thing. But make sure that you lead with value. In general, shorter is now working better typically on Facebook, but play with what works for you. I would definitely, whichever one you're doing, you should add Reels to it, because it is just it's getting a lot more views than other things. So definitely give that a try. Number eight is TikTok. If you're going to throw reels up on Facebook, why don't you throw them up on TikTok as well? Again, it is a not necessarily a fast return strategy. It can be, and I know some people who've blown up from it and gotten some really fast results. But more often than not, it's they blew up after being super consistent for like 6 months, and then they blew up, right? So it's not a super fast return, but it can be very, very effective. And we know people who've just blown up their calendars through short form vertical video on TikTok. TikTok can be very, very effective. It is on my to-do list to really get back into. I'm a little swamped at the moment, but when I get back into content creation, you better believe that I will be on TikTok. It is awesome. Make sure if you're putting together videos for TikTok or even reels for Facebook, make sure you've got a good hook. You have about like two seconds to get people's attention, or they're swiping past. And if people swipe past right away, your video is not going to be shown to other people, right? So you have a really good hook, and then keep it on point. If people get bored at all, they are moving on. So don't let people get bored with your content, and then mix in a call to action. Okay, but it can be very, very effective for audience growth and development. Number 9. So the 9th strategy we're talking about today is blogging. Now, blogging can be really effective still. Types of businesses that are doing really well with this are actually often the local businesses because of the SEO potential. So search engine optimization. So a business like ours, we could do focus more on blogging and SEO, but we're competing against people worldwide. And that's a hard piece. That's a harder thing to do. Versus if you are a local business or you're localized or you have an online part of what you do, then ranking for local keywords can be really effective with blogging and SEO, and that would be something to take a look at. Also, if you are going to blog, you 100% need to, on top of that, add in Pinterest as a way to distribute your blog. There's a massive mojo going on between Pinterest and SEO with your blog. I highly suggest that you're putting your blog out on Pinterest using that opportunity, because it can be very, very effective to getting your content to rank over time. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, again, if you are hearing these strategies, but you don't have your systems in place, you don't have your foundation in place, or you're going to need a lot more help on how to actually do these strategies, it's okay. That's what we do. That's how we help people. Type in info in the chat. Let's just have a quick chat, see how we can help you with this. And if you'd like to be hosted, be a guest on one of our podcasts, definitely type in guest and we can get you the information on that. Finally, number 10, the 10th strategy for generating leads for your coaching program, coaching business is podcasting. So where you are the host. There is great opportunity. I just had a sales call with a gentleman today who found us through our podcast, right? Not as a guest, but the one that we host. He heard us, heard was our first introduction to us was through coming across our podcast, and reached out to me, cold DM'd me on Facebook, I believe it was, to talk and see if we could potentially help him with his business. So podcasting is also a really good strategy. It takes time though, right? It takes time to build an audience. It takes time to even get good at podcasting, get good at these kind of conversations and serving people. So again, I love the long-term strategies. The long-term strategies kind of all fell under the umbrella of content marketing, putting out good stuff and attracting the right people to you. I love that. However, understand you have to have patience for it and you have to be really, really consistent. If you want a quick win, you absolutely want to focus on those quicker strategies where you can get a faster return on your work. You can make sales quicker. So again, that's going to be podcast guesting. That's going to be networking online, offline. That's going to be paid ads. That's going to be collaborations like summits, giveaways, group and list promotions, and then posting in groups as well as number 5. Right? Offering your stuff, going into, getting paid, doing some of those paid memberships to promote, and just making sure you're making the most of those, and that you are speaking the right terms and offering the right things for your target audience so that those posts can be really successful. So I am losing my voice. I can hear it already. I had too many meetings today. So I'm going to take a breath. I'm take a drink, and you guys can ask your questions about any and all of the 10 strategies while I take a moment here. My kids are in the midst of a nasty cold, so I'm not getting that though. Promise, I hope. Right. Okay, so I know that lead gen was a big request in people joining our Facebook group over the weekend. That's kind of just as a tip, right? If you join our Facebook group and you're asking for content, a specific type of thing you'd like to learn more about, great, because I watch and I pay attention, and that's what we do these trainings on. So yes, absolutely have a blessed rest of your night. I will see you guys next Monday. Say hi. If you're watching replay, let me know. I love the replay viewers just as much as the live ones. Have a blessed one. I'll see you Monday at 7. And if you have any specific requests to help you, go ahead and throw those into the comments, and we will. I'll queue that up for one of the future weeks. So have a blessed night, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.